Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Spear from HorrorFam.com, and 2024 was a pretty big year for our site. It was our 5th year in existence, and we updated every single Friday, except for the last one, because we take that one off to enjoy the holidays and recuperate, but we came back strong on the very first Friday on January 2025. And we also made the horror inbox roundups, where indie horror creators send us their new and upcoming project news from just whenever to a dedicated 3 times a year, and that now occurs in February, June, and October. And we featured, I'd say over 3 dozen people in those, but that doesn't include all the other indie horror creations that we featured throughout the year that landed in my inbox, and I said, oh hey, Isaiah from Izzy's Eerie Indies, this would be perfect for you to look at. And he featured so many different indie horror creators in the Izzy's Eerie Indies column. And AJ Spencer of AJ's Horror Reads reviewed so many indie horror novels. And those were just, whenever things, and that was great. And I'm trying to get better at being on camera, which is why we had so many videos, and we're going to have even more this year. And thank you for being patient with me while I, try to be better at this. But I did bring back the HorrorFam.com podcast, which everyone seemed to really love as an audio show, and now has videos as well as the usual transcripts with all the extra bonus photos for people to look at, so people have a reason to go and look at the transcripts and see extra stuff. So after you're done watching, you can look through and see oh yes, that was what they were talking about, and have a visual to go along with that. And I got to interview 5 people because I started toward the end of the year. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, but I did. And I'm going to be continuing to do interviews with horror creators in the coming year for the HorrorFam.com podcast. But last year, in 2024, I interviewed musician John Brennan, who many of you know from The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. He's the one who wrote and performed the theme song, as well as Timmy Brennan, no relation, known as Alternate Form, who is a YouTuber, a filmmaker on YouTube, and he is also a Beetlejuice impersonator, and that was really fun because Beetlejuice came out around the same time, and it was kind of a fun tie-in. And I also interviewed AJ Spencer of AJ's Horror Reads, and about his work on HorrorFam.com reviewing indie horror novels, and we got to talk about his own novel that came out last year, Electric Eyes. And I also interviewed Isaiah Swanson, aka The Bitter Wolf, who runs the Bitter Wolf website, as well as the Horror Mosaic interview series. And he writes Izzy's Eerie Indies on HorrorFam.com. And we got to talk about all the stuff that he does. And I interviewed Waylon Revis, and he said that that's how you pronounce his name. So, and I have video of that. So if anyone says, no, it's Waylon Revis, it's not. Waylon Revis of A Killer's Confession, about all the music that he's been making and his love for horror, and how he got into wearing monster masks and all that kind of stuff. And there were a ton of articles from Christy Bandy of Christy's Creepy Commentary, and we announced a new horror hottie, gave out the HorrorFam.com Horror Hottie Award, which has now been awarded 3 times, and we hosted a giveaway from Jack's Gold Room, where the winner got their face put into the ending photo from The Shining, and that was really fun. You could read a bit about the owner of Jack's Gold Room wrote a nice post about that photo from, The Shining, so that people could have a bit of the history and lore behind the photo before they were inserted into the Overlook Hotel themselves. And, yeah, wow. And we also did one read aloud of one of our most popular articles, because I had been getting requests from some folks who really wanted to read the articles on horrorfam.com, but they weren't that strong of readers, and had been requesting if there could be some more accessibility in terms of like maybe audio versions. And so I'm trying to do that too. And if anyone wants to say like, oh, you should do this article next, let me know. For now, I'm just going to go by like what our analytics say are our most popular articles and try to, because I figure if those are the most popular ones, and those are the ones that, people who haven't been able to read them yet would want to hear them. And I think that makes sense. But if you have a particular favorite, I'd love to know. So please let me know. And so more read alouds this year to increase the accessibility of all of our posts so that people can enjoy them in a number of different ways. Oh, and my dad, of course, special effects artist and mask maker Robert Tharp was able to write some posts last year as well. And, he retired from doing special effects and mask making, and now he's living his lifelong dream of being a published writer. And that's been really exciting to be able to make that happen. And yeah, man, it's been quite a year. And if you missed any of that, the podcast episodes, the featuring indie horror filmmakers and game designers, I played through a video game that got sent to me, and that was awesome. But if you missed any of that, if you missed the podcast, the read alouds, the articles, the reviews, like all that, I even did like a whole bunch of stop motion animation. Then you need to like and subscribe and bookmark horrorfam.com, because there's going to be even more in 2025. And hello to anyone who's new, and thank you so much to anyone who has stuck with us. We appreciate every single reader and watcher and listener. And big thanks to our patron on Patreon for keeping our hosting going, and happy 2025. I'm looking forward to sharing more things on horrorfam.com all year round.